Today's video, we're putting this RC car to the test to see how good this RC brand actually is. Stay tuned. We're taking another look at the Lancia 037 from the Rally Legends. If you want to get a closer look at this car, see kind of a full review, we're going to leave a link to another video right here. But in today's video, we're going to try to peek out the rally performance of this car. In case you missed it in the last one, this car did very well, completely stock out of the box, and is super fun to drive. For the rally driving we're trying to do, we're going to need to make some changes, and in order to do that, I brought a couple upgrades for us today. Now, the stock brush system in the previous video on 3S is pretty quick, but we want to try to get as much performance as possible out of this car. So we're going to be installing the Konekt 4600 kV combo. This is really going to wake this car up even more, especially on 3S. It's going to be scary fast on and off road. I can't wait to get it in and see how it does. But that is just a really fun and cool upgrade we're doing. It's not necessary for this car. Now, something this car is lacking for off-road use is going to be the shocks. This car is going to come from factory with the low profile shocks from the Rally Legends. And that's because this car is back to fun legal in Europe, which is kind of like a on-road European Racing Series league for stock brushed cars, which means the stock shocks do really well on road. But we want to go big and take this thing off some jumps and do a little bit more driving on gravel without spinning out. Now, the Rally Legends remedies this problem with a set of long shocks and a set of extra long shocks. They offer all three of these in composite and aluminum options. And since we're going extra big today, we're going with the extra long aluminum rally shocks. These things look absolutely sick, and I can't wait to see what they look like on the car. All right, first things first, we need to get some ride-height in this guy. So let's go ahead and get them stock shocks off and put on these metal extra long rally shocks. Looks good to me. Go ahead, bust these new shocks out and put our pivots back in. As you can see, that is quite a bit more shock you're gonna get. Quite a bit. Check that out. Look how much more suspension we're gonna have here. Much better. Look at that. That is proper rally car suspension. I will take that. Sets us up a little bit higher here. I can actually slide my fingers under the chassis, my big old sausage fingers. Slide right under the chassis pretty easily. Now the bumper and rear diffuser don't look like they're scraping. This should be pretty good for the jumps, especially for how small in diameter 10 scale car tires are. Not too shabby. So let's put a new power plant in this thing, shall we? Here is the inside of that once the gear cover's off. It does come with a 27 tooth pinion stock, and I don't believe in re-gearing, so this is what we're gonna leave on the 4600. See if it cooks it, see how it does. If we do need to cool it down, we will change gears at a later time. There's our ESC we're going to be putting in there, nice little 50 amp. And I can't begin to describe just how beautiful this motor is. That orange with like that diamond-esque kind of pattern on there really pops. And these are a very, very tight fit. Like, Jesus, that's how tight. Now at this point we had finished up the car, went outside and got to hitting these jumps, Unfortunately though, the audio decided it didn't want to be here today. So I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of what we started out doing. I didn't want to cut out too much of this just to prove to you guys we were putting this car through quite a bit of abuse and a lot more than what you're going to see in this video. It would just take way too long to keep everything in. And just a couple key notes here, the power difference is absolutely massive. While this car was pretty quick on the brush system of the 3S LiPo, adding in that 4600 kV motor is just crazy. Even with that 27-tooth pinion, I think if we re-gear it, we can get way more torque and make it a lot more snappier, cool it down a little bit next time, but the difference is just absolutely crazy. And then one other thing, for some reason, in this first little bit of testing, we had no reverse. Now, we did not program the ESC at all with the included program card. We left it as it was, and I think it might have just been the transmitter and receiver needing to communicate with it. That way it could set the neutral points and reverse points and get everything good to go. Also switched roles with the cameraman for a little bit, let him get behind the wheel while I got behind the camera, and that's about it. Let's go ahead and switch to some speed runs and then finally get to the big jumps with sound for all the rest of the video. I promise you're gonna want to stick around and see what we break in the rest of this video. Reminder, if you're interested in anything we use today, links will be down in the description below.
Okay, if that doesn't make the blooper reel, I don't know what that.
Oh, so now reverse works?
Update.
Got reverse. As you guys can see here, we finally did get our first breakage after beating the crap out of this thing for a while, and it is right there. That front little out drive that goes to the front diff did snap clean off. The drive shaft's absolutely fine, so I think that front impact, it had enough flex to where it finally did a little bit of damage there, but that is a-okay. We're gonna keep running this thing in two-wheel drive for even longer, keep seeing how she does. The motor's definitely getting warm. It's not crazy hot, but it's warm enough to where the bottom of the chassis is warm, so maybe it is crazy hot, I don't know. But we're gonna keep sending this thing in two-wheel drive until more stuff breaks, it shuts down, or the lipo blows up. We're just gonna see what happens. Are you getting it in the lipo fell out again. Our next breakage, the shock tower finally snapped on there. So we're gonna tape this battery back in and keep driving until more breaks. Keep going. All right, so electronics are a little warm. We're gonna take her over here to the puddle, cool her off a bit. A little bit of two-wheel drive mud in action. Nice little muddy chassis. Let's get back to work. I think she's finally done. Nope. So actually, I thought we had another break here, but it looks like the ball stud might have just threaded or popped itself out. That is a really easy fix. The hub is still intact, so that is actually not a bad fix. We could get this going and keep driving it pretty easily. It actually still rolls forward right there, basically in 1.5 wheel drive. So it's still moving. It's not dead yet. Let's keep going. It's trying. It's hard when everything is loose on the rear end and moving. I wanted to bring you guys a little closer and show you just all the damage it sustained. Right off the bat, you're going to notice the drive shaft is out of the car. We were able to find this as it's bright red. It was laying over in the grass. However, the rear drive shaft on that side got flung out at some point, and I have no idea where it's at. We might see it when we review the footage, or if you guys see it in the video, be sure to let me know where you saw it fly out at. But there's a whole reason why we trashed this thing, and you're going to find out in a future video. The body actually held up really, really well. I mean, you got some cracks where it was landing here in the back, but everything else is pretty good. A little bang up right there. If anything, it just makes it look more like an actual rally car. Here is the rear body post and shock tower. So that breakage is right there. This body post is loose. That's easy enough to tighten up. The little electrical tape on the shock worked, and it's actually pretty nice when you got these shock towers that have the multiple holes, because when that outside breaks, I just shoved it in and it still ran absolutely fine. Now on the other side, we had the tie rod come out, and it looks like you just stripped out of the hole, so you could either put a bigger ball stud in there or use the other hole, and that's it. So I wouldn't even really consider that too much of a breakage. Easy fix. And the drive shaft did go flying out, so if you did see where it flew out in the video, be sure to let me know so I can try to find it. Motor and ESC from Konekt held up absolutely great. It did get a little warm with that gearing, but it was nothing it couldn't handle. Never hit the max temperature to overheat and shut down, just got pretty warm. Servo, all the electronics from the Rally Legends held up great. The transmitter receiver, front end sustained absolutely zero damage at all, except for that outdrive out of the front diff. That's the only thing on the front that broke. All the chassis, suspension, everything like that held up absolutely amazing. There's no cracked diff cases or anything like that. The center brace is good. Nothing's bent or tweaked. This thing absolutely held up amazing. You got the little ball stud that popped out, a cheap little shock tower, and really, like we said, the only major damage was that front drive shaft coupler that comes out of the front diff. Absolutely amazing. I am thoroughly impressed with this car and the abuse that it is not designed to take and took. These cars are tough. If you're interested in one, you can find them on our website, www.naughtyboyrc.com. And remember, keep it naughty.